we at the party. Now we at the party. Party, 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 party. Freeze!
I wonder if Donovan's up right now.
I bet you he's asleep.
I hope so.
He better be because he gotta wake up tomorrow. It don't matter. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Podcast about everything. Episode number 9. Wait. Yeah, there's Trace Quatro Cinco Seis Ocho Nueve. Okay, yeah, Nueve. Yeah. I thought maybe I was saying it wrong. I thought it was maybe Nueva. That also might be something too. I didn't pay attention in Spanish class.
Me neither, but I knew that.
Because you took French.
No, I took Spanish my last year.
You took...
I took French. I took French for 4 years, and I took Spanish my last year of high school, and I took it because I didn't have a license to go home.
So you just had to.
Yeah, but I didn't actually learn any Spanish. Instead,
I went there, but I didn't learn shit, alright?
Didn't learn a fucking thing.
Okay, I didn't learn a goddamn thing. Okay, so, Jerry, for today's episode, can I ask you a question?
Ask me a question.
Let's say you're 7-year-old Jerry.
7-year-old?
Pigtails, 2 front teeth missing.
I had teeth, but okay, sure.
Light skin is all outdoors.
I wasn't that light.
Light as a yellow Lego brick.
I feel like you think I'm lighter than I actually am.
Light as Land O'Lakes butter.
Definitely not that light.
Light as...
Okay, anyway.
7-year-old Jerry, she wakes up and somebody asks her, 7-year-old Jerry, what do you think the future's going to be like? What would 7-year-old Jerry have said?
Honestly, I grew up with a pretty, like my dad's family was pretty religious, and they were always talking about we were living the last days, so I never took it into consideration because I kind of thought the world would just end before we got to that point.
Interesting take.
I'm not gonna lie about it.
Not what I thought was going to be said, but yeah, very interesting take on on that. So, okay, let's bounce it back over here. 7
I just assumed there wouldn't be one.
Hey, you assumed what you assumed. So, 7-year-old Dante, he's sitting around. He's thinking, by the time it's 2018, almost 2020, I would have thought we'd have laser guns, clones. Let's see.
Here's the thing. I hear military has a lot of things that we wouldn't think of, and that they're hoarding them for themselves, and then that we get them, basically we get the sloppy seconds.
So that's going to throw me into my first point, technology suppression. Okay, there are numerous theories that pertain to the alleged suppression of certain technologies and energies, that I guess, like you said, the government is trying to keep from us, and there have been, alternate technologies, alternate energies that we could have had that they just don't want us to have, either because they think it's too dangerous for us to release to the public, or we're just not ready for it. Honestly, I think some of us are ready for some new technology, but maybe not all of us.
Absolutely not all of us.
I think a new energy source would be good, but then it's like, what happens if that energy source gets into the wrong hands? Like, let's say we got an energy source that could power a city for like a whole year, independent of the grid and all that stuff. If that fell into the wrong hands, that could be pretty big. Kind of like Tony Stark and his arc reactor.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that falls into the wrong hands, which it did in the first movie and the second movie.
And we saw how that worked out.
Did it happen in the third movie too? No, third movie was Extremis, and that dude had his own little thing going. So no, it didn't happen. But he made a lot of stuff that seemed to fall into the wrong people's hands, and then he had to clean it up. A lot of people say he's the cause for all that stuff, but that's a story for another time. I think, yeah, there's probably some stuff that they're not telling us, just like with aliens, just like with assassinations, I guess, and government overthrows and upheavals. There's a lot of stuff they're not telling us about. A lot of stuff. Overthrows and upheavals.
My.
Why? Why you gotta call me out like that, Jerry?
I was just making sure I heard you correctly.
You heard what you heard. You would have to do that to me.
I'm just saying.
But you know, I thought we'd be way more technologically advanced in 20. The movies promised me that we'd be way more technologically advanced now than we would have ever been. They're supposed to be moving sidewalks and
Did you hear it? Movies, Dante. Movies.
but if they can think about it in the movies, why can't they think about it in real life?
Because there are no rules in movies.
There's no rules here either. If they just
There are rules.
if let's say I'll say this, if they put as much money and time and pomp and circumstance in, who's the next great scientist as they do who's the next great basketball player or who's going to be the next great Hollywood blah 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 blah, we'd be better off. But they don't do that for some reason. Doesn't everybody want better technology instead of making our phones and our TVs bigger and thinner?
And gadgets.
Yeah, all these gadgets. Top flight security of the world, man. You don't need these gadgets, but we do need those.
But
What?
for what? What do you need it for specifically?
For technology, man. I would love.
Technology purposes.
I thought we would have like those pneumatic tubes in Futurama by now. Maybe something like that.
Oh, to send you flying into the next thing or another?
Like let's say there was something to take us from like a certain designated point, like a parking ride, straight to work, and it only took us like 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get there. Wouldn't that be better than riding on that goddamn smelly ass
And
bus
we'd
for an
still all
hour?
be late.
Huh?
I said we'd still all be late.
Because everybody would try to get to work at the same time. That's, I mean, like, so today, I'm gonna go over some things that I thought we'd see now and what I thought it would be versus what it actually is right now. So the first thing I'm talking about is food in pill form. Jerry, would you ever want your food in pill form?
Here's the thing, I like food.
That's true. So when I thought it was gonna be food in pill form, I think you'd eat the pill and then the pill would like fill you up like you just ate like a giant meal and you could taste all of the meal still.
Oh, like in what's my movie?
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
Oh, when she ate the gum, she was like, tastes like blueberry pie. And this tastes like mashed potatoes and roast beef.
And then she turned into a blueberry.
Because she was a little bitch.
C-U-M-B.
She was a little selfish, snotty-nosed bitch.
Well, they all were. That was the point.
I can't believe you get all of those kids together and there's only one that's remotely good.
That's because he needed to figure out which one wasn't an
But there was
asshole.
only one. There was only one who was good.
Yes.
One? That doesn't make any sense. And that bum ass grandfather. That's why I don't really like those movies. That motherfucker couldn't go to work, but he hopped up and started skipping and jumping and stomping the yard when he found out that Charlie got that ticket.
You gotta talk to your man. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Roald Dahl?
I thought it was Roald, but then I thought that maybe I was mispronouncing it.
Roald Dahl. He was a good guy. But, as far as
My Tums. Sorry.
as as far as food in pill form, the only thing we've got now is pretty much vitamins. Vitamins to give us an extra boost because at right now it's not scientifically possible to pack all the energy and nutrients of one single meal into a single pill. A single pill with such a capability would, I guess, not be good by the laws of physics because think about it, a pill you need, I guess, the average person needs roughly around 2,000 calories a day of food, and then that's with carbs, and proteins, and fats, and all that stuff. If you were to take 2,000 carbs in, I guess in pill form, at one time, I feel like your body wouldn't digest that very well.
I mean, like.
You'd be asleep for a long time. Like you take the pill, you'd have to take the pill right before you went to sleep.
The calories? I said calories.
Cause,
Calories?
cause you have to your body you get 2,000 when they do 2,000 calories a day roughly for the average person. That's 2,000. Excuse me, 2,000 calories spread out the entire day. Like you think about eating your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner all at one time in one sitting.
Why shouldn't I? I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
You always got something to say. Jerry with the snappy retort.
Snap.
Snaps. But God, you got me doing it. But you know,
You're
but
welcome. Okay, okay, okay. I'll stop.
so as of right now, it doesn't seem possible. Plus, you got to think, all the dietary restrictions that people have, where it's like, oh, I need to have a little bit more of this than that, a little bit less of this than that. So you'd have to make custom pills, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd try it. I, I'd try. Nasty.
I'm
I'd try.
sorry. My tummy hurt for a second.
Jerry got a tim hurting.
Don't tease me.
Jerry's tim hurt.
It's all the. No, no. We ate pretty much a regular amount of nuggets.
So yeah, think about that. Think about all the calories that. Think about a meal where you ate where it was a. I'm trying to think of a meal where it's like, oh man, you eat it and you're like, oh, I'm so
Like,
fucking full.
let's not act like we don't go to a restaurant and get you know like too many calories in one sitting.
Think about we go to Bonefish Grill
Oh man, let's do that.
and we eat all that food. Think about eating 3 of those meals, but one's breakfast, one is lunch, one is dinner. It's all in pill form, and all of that heaviness of each one of those meals is going to hit you at one time.
Well, why don't you take 3 pills a day?
That could also work.
Like you're. Well, like you'd only have the one.
Yeah, that's all you get. You get one.
Well, why can't I have 3?
You know, but there's back in 2010, a group of researchers from the Institute of Food Research in Norwich. Have you ever been to Norwich, Jerry?
Yeah,
What's it like? Where is Norwich?
it's in the northeast,
Of
the United States.
Nope, it's in England.
I meant that.
But these people, they developed what we were just talking about, which is the Willy Wonka technology. They developed a technology to allow multiple flavors to be put in microscopic capsules that were released one by one at different time intervals. Would you try that?
They do what? The what?
So the gum that Willy Wonka made,
Yes.
these people they took it and they put it in microscopic capsules so that the flavors were released one by one at different times.
Right.
Would you try that?
Yes. Yes, I would.
I think I'd try that too.
That sounds tasty, but then also at the same time, like let's not pretend there's no joy in just sitting down to it.
Just munching.
Yeah.
Yeah, sitting down and maybe let's
Taking your time.
taking your time, watching some TV and munching on some food on a Friday evening after a hard week of slaving.
Yeah, maybe smoking a little bit.
Schmackerber,
Smokable.
schmackerber.
Yeah, all that sounds fantastic.
I need something to schmack me. Schmackerber. Okay, now, Jerry, teleportation. What do you know about it?
That it doesn't exist.
So, teleportation is the theoretical transfer of matter or energy from one point to another without transversing the physical space between them. So, beam me up, Mr. Sulu.
That is from Star
Uh,
Trek.
Ooh, I was about to say you better get this right. Mr. Sulu and Mr. Kirk.
I don't know why, but it just made me think of Arrested Development and go see a Star Wars.
That's a deep cut for those dev heads.
You know, a lot of people don't watch it and they don't understand the references,
Well,
and it's upsetting because
here's something I will plug. I will plug Arrested Development all the way up till season 3. The new
that's true.
seasons,
You can skip.
yeah,
If
I'm
you
not.
want to just skip it.
I've never seen them. I heard they were bad. I tried watching them, but the thought that when they told me the idea was all of them having their separate episodes instead of them being intertwined, that's when they lost me. So I didn't. I didn't partake.
And that's okay because I didn't either.
So basically, what I wanted from teleportation was, yeah, I wanted to be able to go from L.A. to go from here to L.A. in the blink of an eye. You know what I mean? Like there's like there we every you go to the portal station, you hand them your ticket, they calibrate your mass and your atoms and all that stuff, and they ship me off to LA. And I'll be like, hey Roy, I'll be there Saturday to come see you and the little bean and the wife, and we'll hang out. Or Jerry's like, hey brother of mine, you're where? You're in Dubai? Here I come on the teleportation pad to see you.
God, that's assuming I even want to leave the house.
Here's the thing: if they have teleportation, would you do it?
Yeah.
Would you risk it?
Like, I could potentially hurt myself, is what you're saying?
Like, let's say it's they's like, okay, we've done teleportation. It's been a full year,
Mm-hmm.
and they've opened it to the public.
Yes.
Would you try it? They've discovered it. They've done a year of troubleshooting. You know what I mean? And then it's the year from that date. Boom! It's today. It came out today. They're advertising it to everybody. Would you go?
Yeah, as long as I can do it safely.
Like I'd be like transport like a goat or something first.
Transport a goat first.
Transport something alive and then show me on the other side what it looks like. Because I don't want to arrive there inside out or
Well, I definitely don't want to be the first person who does it.
you don't want to be the first person for I think if it's new, I don't think you really want to be the first person to do
somebody
it.
else take that.
Like, hey man, I'm gonna be the first person to walk on the sun. Don't want to be that guy.
No.
Nah, don't want to be that guy. They're saying for those of you spaceheads who don't know, they are. I think they launched it maybe last week or the week before. They're sending that little thing to try to see if it can get to the surface of the sun. For why? For what purpose?
No, we don't need to live on the sun. We don't need to walk on the sun or be near the sun.
I think it's just to measure some stuff, or the sun. It puts off a lot of. It's very far away. But why wouldn't we send like
They make so many cunty decisions.
they solar energy? Yeah. Why would we not send something into space like a very large battery, like the largest battery we could ship to space, have it collect as much solar energy as possible, and then bring it back down? I'm pretty sure the logistics and the science of that is ridiculous, but hey, if anybody from NASA or theoretical, I don't know if this is right, theoretical physicists or scientists, theoretical scientists, that might be a thing. Pretty sure it's not.
Probably not.
Put that on your to-do list of things to figure out. Get back to me, PAE podcast at gmail.com, because I got shit to say, got things to say. But as far as teleportation now, let's see. According to a University of Leicester study into the computing power required to teleport a human being, your cells broken down into data equates to 2.6 times 1042 bits, which is 2.6 followed by 42 zeros.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you would require a stupendous amount of bandwidth and roughly 10, 10, what is this? I can't read this. 10 tons. Okay, 10 ton gigawatt hours of power. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but this is just, it's 10 TN gigawatt hours of power.
Maybe.
So teleporting one human being would therefore require hogging the entire UK power supply for more than 1 million years and take 4.8 million years to transfer, or about 350 times longer than the universe has existed.
Shit.
It would be quicker to walk there. to wherever you're going, it would just be quicker to walk. So at the moment, transporting a human is
Out of the question.
it's pretty much out of the question. But let's last year or the a couple years ago, a Long March 2D rocket took off from the Jingwan Satellite Launch Center in the Gobi Desert, carrying a satellite called the Mikius. I'm probably saying that wrong. Micius. How do you think you pronounce that, Jerry?
Mici.
US. Misius.
Misius.
Mishis. That actually sounds better. Mishis. We're gonna call it Mimi. Named after no, we're not gonna call it that because this is named after an ancient Chinese philosopher who died in 391 BC. The rocket placed Mesius in a sun synchronous orbit so that it passes over the same point on Earth at the same time each day. And it's also a highly sensitive photon receiver that can detect quantum states of single photons fired from the ground. And that's important because it would allow scientists to test the technological building blocks for various quantum feats such as entanglement, cryptography, and teleportation. So what they did was they fired
I like
a
that punchline there. I like it.
how I set that up for you.
Yeah, I did like that quite a bit.
Okay, so it's this is according to an article from technologyreview.com. They transported a a photon from Earth to orbit.
Whatever that means.
It's photons. Like you don't remember learning about like photons and neutrons and all that stuff in science class? So the photon, it's microscopic. We can't even see it, but they've teleported that from Earth to orbit. So I guess that's progress made. I guess
Mm.
you know I don't know if that's what anybody wants to hear, but that's as far as we've gotten with teleportation. They teleported a photon from the ground to a satellite orbiting 500 kilometers above the Earth.
That's wild.
I mean, in terms of science, I guess if you're like a real science guy, that's probably something like, whoa. I never thought we could do that. But you know, see that's what I'm saying. If they put more money into stuff like this, we could be teleporting to Mars in no time. First, we got to figure out that energy source. Then we get to, so we don't have to wait longer than the universe has existed to transport ourselves there. But
Yeah.
uh, no, nothing, not interesting.
I'm just listening to you.
Okay, no, we appreciate it as we do all of the listeners to the podcast about everything. So, Jerry, space travel. What do you think about space travel? So,
Um,
if it's younger Jerry, well, never mind. We go back to that story where Jerry's wasn't really thinking too much about space travel.
yeah, I wasn't thinking about space travel. Wasn't like, I just, you know,
Just out here living your best life.
yeah.
Ain't got time to fuck with these niggas.
I've never been the type of person I feel like who really even thought that far into the future
Well,
because
I was
it's
always thinking about the future. Not like my future, like what am I going to do with my future, but just like the future in general. Like, man, we're gonna have this and that and this and that and this and that.
and I get that. I'm definitely not saying I don't understand why you're like that, but I just I don't know. It never felt promised.
You never
Is that
thought
kind of like a dark thing to say?
you never thought that we would get to the point where we would be in it. We never be in a position to get there, or you maybe you thought Earth, like you said, you thought we wouldn't be here by now.
Yeah, like maybe we wouldn't be here, cause like my grandfather used to say it all the time. Like when I was like we're living in the last days, my aunt used to say it, and then it's like when you kind of like grow up a certain way. You're like, okay, like
But
maybe,
isn't that what, like, isn't that a thing in like all religions? I guess.
yeah, if we're being honest.
Like all the religions seem to have the end of days are coming. It's coming. But
And I had a different belief system
yeah,
growing up, as did you.
yeah. My belief is get up and go to church every Sunday, and if things are going good, you thank God. If things are going bad, you gotta pray harder and hope they get better.
Yeah, a lot of that.
But it's cool. But for me, I figured with space travel, we should be on planet XJ9. Mining unobtainium. Wow.
Unobtainium.
You don't remember unobtainium?
No.
That's what That's what wasn't that that's what Avatar.
Yeah,
That's what they were mining, right?
maybe. I don't know. Dante, like, I wasn't. First of all, I'm certain I was pregnant when we saw that movie. And
You were certain you were what?
pregnant.
No.
I wasn't pregnant when we saw Avatar?
Hang on, let's see when Avatar came out.
If it was 2010, I was definitely pregnant.
Avatar was released 2009.
Oh. I still remember like the little things floating around and you were like swatting at it in theater.
You're never gonna let me live that shit down, are you?
No, because it was hilarious.
Thank God. So,
It was cute.
goodness. So, we should we should be on planet XJ9, mining for that unobtainium, while at the same time respecting the local flora and fauna of the planet. We should be landing on asteroids and finding new
Asteroid.
fueloids, new fuels.
Steroids.
I ain't scared of no asteroid. we should be we should be out here finding all of these new things. Like we should be deep into space by now. I figured we'd be so deep into space, like
So deep.
Earth would have come together, and we would have built like some large ass star cruiser, and we would have sent like a team, like every major player in the world would have sent like a team of people up on this deep space station, and we'd be like so far away from Earth by now, sending out probes and stuff to find things.
Probes.
But now it's just like, are we dumb? Are we too dumb to get there?
Hmm.
Because it seems like we're dumb and we're stuck here.
I mean, probably a little.
Because like
Everything.
like we're actively destroying the planet, but we don't have an exit strategy for when the planet's just like fuck y'all, I'm done.
That's our fault.
Yeah, that is our fault. But in my diggings, I found a team of researchers at NASA unintentionally accelerated particles to faster than light speeds using the M drive resonance chamber. If their findings turn out to be accurate, the team may have discovered faster than light travel. Because I can't even fathom how fast light goes.
That's because it's instant.
Yeah, because it's in an instant. But thinking about like when it pops up and then when it gets to you, I don't even think our brains could think that fast.
No, we don't.
It'd be nice if we could though, right?
It would.
It'd be pretty nice. But the M drive is a proposed method of interstellar propulsion that could even end up being the engine that propels starships through the galaxy in the future. This is what I was talking about. I was very excited to find this, and I mean, why throw money at it? Throw money. Where's Richard Branson? That guy's a rich bastard. Where's Bill Gates at? Where are the sharks from Shark Tank? Hose? They should be out here funding this stuff. These are the things we should be funding. If they were like, we're going to cancel every single major award show and throw all that money into scientific research for maybe not just like space travel, but like, hey man, let's go ahead and cure MS or something like that. Or I don't know, fuzzy eyes, blindness.
Fuzzy eyes.
Because
My lord.
what we just have fuzzy eyes because we wear glasses. We're not like, let's go ahead and cure blindness. You know, let's go ahead and cure deafness in people. Why isn't there something by now where they can put like a little thing in you? Well, that's a thing.
What?
I've seen the videos on, you see those videos on Facebook all the time. The cochlear implant, I think is what it's called. The
Cochlear.
cochlear, and they put it in your ear and then they turn it on and then people can hear.
Mhm.
So we've got a little bit of stuff, but we don't have a lot of stuff. Where is my jetpack, my rocket boots, my laser gun?
Where's it at, Hose?
But you know, let's see. NASA is also studying technology for future use, but they didn't expect these type of results when they went in there. They fired the lasers into the resonance chamber, and the particles were accelerated to astronomical speeds, with some even exceeding the speed of light.
Shit.
So let's go ahead and get that engine built, because I'm ready to get the fuck up off this rock. If I'm being honest, if they came to us and they said, you all have the chance to go to space, we found a planet that's habitable, you get first dibs on the land and all that stuff, but you have to come now, you have to leave everything behind. You can bring your family, but that's it. We got everything else for you.
You saying what?
Yeah, you going?
I mean, are you?
I
gotta go where you go.
I think about it. I'd give it a real hard thought, because it's we can trick ourselves all we want to. This planet's going to come to an end eventually. We're going to use up everything.
It's gonna be like an Interstellar, where they have no choice but to
Still
find.
never seen that movie.
It's long as shit. But it's good.
You watched that when I was asleep one day, didn't you?
I watched it. No, it was in the daytime too. We were laying next to each other, and then you decided to go to sleep instead of watching the movie with me.
Oh goodness. It's too long, but yeah, if we can think up these things, like if a I know it's fiction and it might not make sense, but if a movie person can think this up, why can't? Well, maybe there's I guess it's because I'm not a scientist. I don't claim to be a scientist. Uh,
Maybe.
I don't claim to know much about interstellar space travel, but I feel like, hey man, just get your ass in there and do it.
Sorry.
You good?
Yeah.
It's almost bedtime for my babies. My one baby's already asleep over there on his bed. Cobarella's already over there asleep.
He's a thing.
A dog, yes. But for this M drive, they say there are many advantages to it. It's electrically powered, so it doesn't have any moving parts and doesn't require any material fuel to move. And if it does work as planned, there's a good shot that this could become the first steps in the design of a brand new engine. So if you're interested in that, look up the M Drive EM Drive. Coming to you soon. So
I'm sorry.
so you just
I'm gonna stop talking.
you just keep making these random noises. Just a side note, in case nobody knows, Jerry's known for just making random noises at random times. She just stopped meowing like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more than that.
It's been a little longer than 3 years that I've stopped meowing.
Because she just sit there and then all of a sudden she just meow.
I meowed a lot when I worked at Panera Bread, and it was a hard habit to break.
I don't understand why that was a habit to begin with.
Why do we do any of the things we do?
So, so you might be sitting back asking yourselves, as the audience, what does that M drive have to do with space travel as we know it? Well, it's possible that NASA created this kind of warp bubble, and that could allow for fast travel between the planets of our solar system and beyond. And while this sounds like, something out of Star Trek or Star Wars,
Mumbo jumbo.
mumbo jumbo, if it were able to be, created a warp bubble traveling between the stars would be easier than ever and could propel us to places where we didn't think we could go. And some of you might be asking, well, what's a warp bubble? Well, it's a concept that was created by Miguel Alcubierre. It's his proposal for a faster than light drive for spacecraft, and the contracted space. Let's say your ship is taken off, and the contracted space between the front of the ship and the expanded space behind it, there would be a region of flat space, and that would be a warp bubble. And inside that warp bubble, that's what's that's carrying us. That's carrying us real far out there. but but there's all sorts of other things to consider with space travel, and it's how long is it going to take? Because from the Earth to Mars, estimated how many days do you think that would be, Jerry?
4 days.
Earth to Mars.
My very eager mother. Is
Mer-
Mercury or Mars closer to the sun? I can't.
Mercury is closest to the sun.
Okay, so 5 days.
Estimated 150 to 300 days.
Oh wow.
33.9 million miles. Because if it took only 4 days to get to Mars, we'd be taking trips there all the fucking time. We'd have already set up some shit on
So
Mars.
it'd take like a year to get there.
It would take theoretically a year to get to Mars. And there's things that you got to think about. Could the human body last in a ship that long in space?
No.
So what the thing is, they do there's something called induced torpor. It's basically they put you to sleep for a certain period of time so that your body doesn't need like all the nutrients and stuff, and maybe you don't have to have as much food. So they put you.
Catheter in?
I'm guessing that they'd have to, unless you're gonna be shitting and pissing on yourself.
Just all over the place.
I feel like they'd probably put you in naked, and maybe just put like a little vacuum around your bits. So that way when it did come out, she's like, and it would just get rid of that for you. Because how else would they do it? Think about now that I'm thinking about every movie that I've seen. You know how they're just in there, and they're sitting in their little pods in their full suits, just
getting all the shit sucked out of them.
they have to. Because when they come out of the pods, it's just they fall straight out of it like nothing's been happening. Because most of the time when they do it in the movies, they cryo freeze you,
Yes.
and it seems like, wouldn't you think you'd still have to pee or poop or something like that? Like if maybe you would
like you have to poop and pee.
they'd be like, okay, you can't eat or drink anything like 36 hours before you're about to go on this mission, because we're about to cryo freeze you, and we don't want to clean it up while we're.
That's when your Willy Wonka pills would come in handy.
How are you supposed to eat it if you're cryo frozen?
I'm talking about that 3 or 4 days before.
Yeah, you just eat the pills.
Well, okay, well let me ask you this: if you're getting all your calories from a pill, what are you shitting?
Well, the thing is, it's still well, yeah, because you need to have physical food in there to turn into waste to make shit, yeah?
Yeah.
So I guess maybe you wouldn't.
Which is unacceptable.
What do you mean it's unacceptable?
You like pooping?
You don't?
I never said I don't. I just don't.
Oh my god. So, most likely, astronauts, space colonists, they're going to have to learn a few tricks from dehydrated snails. They can survive for a year or more ingesting nothing. Pandas, they eat the low-calorie bamboo. Leeches can survive in a liquid nitrogen bath.
Leeches?
Yep.
That's disgusting. Why are we saving them?
Children, children who have been, it's trapped in frozen ponds, they can be resuscitated, or skews buried in an avalanche. They it's there's a lot of things that you think about that can go through that we can use for space travel. It's just that we don't. Like I said, we don't put stock in science anymore. Being a smart kid, I guess maybe it was a frowned upon thing, but now it's kind of coming back like nobody wants to be the dummy anymore.
Nobody wants to be the dummy.
Nobody. That's not a good feeling. Nobody wants to be the stupid person.
Nobody wants to be the dumb dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. Ad libs brought to you by Jerry. Yeah,
We're
and
fun.
are we? And according to another as a quartz article, do you read what quartz is?
Quartz is in the stone?
Quartz.com.
Oh no. I
Okay.
just know what the quartz.
So let's see.
Quartz.
In 2000, let's see. In 2006, they kind of developed these large pods that you could put people in for hibernation that would allow people to go from uh, planet to planet through space travel. And from what they're, personal stasis pods, and to me, they look pretty futuristic. These people are only just wearing their knickers in this artist rendering.
Knickers.
It's got like the thing, the shield across your face. You're strapped in, and it's got like the tubes monitoring your vital signs. And from what I see here, nothing, no catheter, nothing to catch the Duke if it comes down.
Nothing to catch that shit.
It's you know, it, and plus, I guess they'd have to figure out how to keep your muscles from atrophying. I guess
Yeah, I
because
like that word atrophy.
let's say you go on a trip for 300 days and you don't move at all, wouldn't you like kind of have to learn how to walk again after you came out?
Oh yeah, your knees would be useless.
All your joints would just be putty. Like you'd be a head on a stick and you just fall straight out of that thing.
I can't imagine being in a place where like I can't walk. Like I want to walk.
You're sending to your brain. Your brain's like walk, 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 and you're just kind of
Just like nah.
that arm's just like that arm and that leg is like you're on your fucking own, buddy.
That's tough.
I've been doing walking for 30 fucking years now.
Walking.
Look at my feet. I've been walking for 30 years now. I ain't doing it no more.
That's tough, man.
Fuck the bullshit.
There's
But
nothing you can do. Just,
that and see in the future, this is another thing I thought in the future. A person has their spine severed or something like that.
yes.
You have your surgery. They put a new spine, like a machine spine, into you that helps you. That's connected to your brain nerves and all that stuff, and it helps you walk. Where is that at?
Where is this item?
And then I see I have tons of ideas. Let's say you're a person you can't walk anymore. They put your legs in this thing, and it like you map out your walkway every day, and then that thing just follows a certain path every day. Like you might not be able to like walk outside or anything, but you can at least walk around your house. You see? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't think you do. You said yes really quickly.
I know.
Okay, let's say these are your legs over here,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't work, and these are like robot legs.
Mm-hmm.
You program these robot legs to do things around your house, like it'll walk like you push it in, it says,
Well, you can send them suckers to the mailbox.
yeah, it's like you push a button, it says walk to the mailbox. It's already mapped out, so it walks to your mailbox. It knows like the stairs, and knows where the couch and everything is. Or walk to the refrigerator, walk me to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So that it's all playing out. You put those on your legs, and those just act as your legs. It's like it looks like you're walking, but the machines are doing all the work. Why isn't that a thing? Like, okay, I need to eat, and it's like it raises your food or your spoon to your mouth. Zzz, it does all that. Why is that
Like,
not?
you mean robotic limbs? I just want to make sure we're on the same.
It's like robotic limbs, except that it fits around your body instead of actually being attached to your body. Like it moves for you. It moves your limbs for you. Like it's attached in then the routine moves it for you. Why is what they need to get me. They need to get me in a goddamn lab right now.
Right now.
You know how much money I could be making right now if I had any kind of brains?
You have plenty of brains.
I'm talking about smart people brains. Like
You have smart people.
I'm talking about thank you. I know what you're doing and I love you. But I'm talking about like, hey, let's make some servos and some gears.
Okay, as long as we're not gonna be putting ourselves down over here, Dante.
Ma'am.
I don't do that.
That goes ma'am. That goes both ways now. You know, that goes both ways, ma'am.
But I said what I said.
And then so like I said with space travel, a lot of hurdles, lot of logistics to figure out how we're going to get there, what fuel we're going to use, how we're going to take care of our bodies over the course of the trip. Who's going to fund this thing? Because we all know we spend more money on war than like what did they say? We spend little money on anything else, but the money we spend on war is more than the next. I don't know how many they said. It's more than the next couple of countries behind us in like, I guess I don't know what they said. GDP. I don't know GDP or something like that combined. Like we spend a lot on war, and then all the time I hear about how we're building like $1 billion ships that don't really do anything, and people are losing like $1 million airplanes places, and it just doesn't make sense to me.
Oh my back. I'm sorry.
See, where's the technology for that?
I'm only 27.
A little thing that like a brace you put around your lower waist, and it kind of like it cracks your back for you.
That would be nice.
You,
Like a chiropractor,
except
you can fuck your back up badly.
like it would be programmed to actually know what it's doing. I would side note, if anybody's ever been to a chiropractor and gotten like those really loud cracks done in their back, please email PAE podcast at gmail.com or leave a note at the Facebook or IG page, because I would fucking love to hear about that. I really I really want to go get my back cracked. Maybe my neck too. But I'm also a little nervous because of that pinched nerve that I got in my back one time. Like they do something and it's not a pinched nerve; it's like a severed nerve. Next thing I know, I'm like, "Hey guys, I can't feel my big toes.
Oh.
What's up with that? My stabilization's all
I
off."
just want you to know that if I had to wheel you around for the rest of your life, I'd do that because I love you so fucking much. I love you.
I love you too. Goodness
I hope
gracious.
you feel the same way about me.
Wheel you down some steps. Dante! Dante! Dante, come get me! Dante!
And you gonna come get me too.
So, God damn you, Jerry.
What?
So okay, so now next thing I'd like to ask you, Jerry. Flying cars.
Yes.
Where'd you think we did you think we'd have flying cars by now?
No.
You didn't think we'd have flying cars either?
Not at all.
If they had flying cars, or would you want to get in them? Maybe not even a flying car, but have you seen Minority Report with Tom Cruise?
No. I'm just not out here watching these Tom Cruise movies. You know I don't support him.
I'll let you know he does the Tom Cruise run in that movie, as he does in all his movies.
I know, but fuck that guy.
Like, you know when they do like the long sweeping shot and it's just Tom Cruise running against the back, like he's running real fast, and he's like he makes sure his motions are real perfect. Like he runs every day like that or something. I bet you he does run every day. I'm pretty certain he runs every day. God, Tom Cruise is
Such a little shit, though.
Tom Cruise is probably in better shape than me.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Tom Cruise can afford a personal trainer who's going to kick his ass into shape.
That's the thing.
Look, let me tell you, if we were rich, me and you would look real good.
We could look real good now. It's just that we're lazy. We gotta get that.
Look,
We gotta get
look.
that spark back.
I have plenty of sparks.
For the last 3 days, we said we were supposed to go to the gym, and each of those 3 days we stayed in bed and did nothing instead.
First of all,
First of all, it's Labor Day weekend, and we didn't really feel like doing much.
no,
So
because I have to go back to work and do things. So I'm enjoying all of this because you know what, Dante? Tomorrow is Sunday for us,
yeah, but at least
and we don't get another large
Wednesday,
vacation
Thursday, Friday.
until Christmas.
Yeah, gonna have to stick it out. Which is gonna blow chunks, but flying cars.
Oh boy.
Okay, iRobot with Will Smith. Those weren't flying cars. Fifth Element. Would you fly one of those flying cars?
From Fifth Element, you said?
Fifth Element, Bruce Willis, Mila Jovovich, Chris Tucker. Like you have to. It's
I mean, in that movie, it seems like flying cars have been a thing for a while already. So yeah, why not?
they've already worked out the kinks and the bugs.
Yeah.
Well, already, this is an article from August 19th on Digital Trends. They say there's already 6 flying cars that you may be able to own and fly in our lifetime. Would you fly one of these cars, or do you want to wait maybe like 20 years to like maybe when they like work all of the kinks out and like Toyota's making flying cars? I don't think I could wait that long. If they put one out now, I'm definitely going to buy it, or at least save my money so I can try and buy one. Because it would be like having our own private jet. Let's say we wanted to take a trip up to New York real quick, get in our little flying car, hour tops. We in there like swimwear.
In there, all up in it, like swimwear.
From the ones from this Digital Trends article, they're you know they're not super duper. They look more like little helicopters because Uber Air is a thing, or they're saying it's going to be a thing. They're gonna have Uber Air flights that you use with your smartphone app and you use it like catching a regular Uber. You'll have to get to a dedicated Uber Skyport, and then it's they say the tagline: closer than you think, cheaper than you fear.
What does that mean?
Cheaper than you fear?
Yeah.
No, it's their thing. So if you think an Uber, let's say an Uber
Yeah.
for air, Uber Air, where you're catching a flying car somewhere, how much do you think that's gonna run you? Because how much is like Uber Platinum or whatever they call it? What's the high grade one where they pick you up in a nice
First
car?
of all, why is Uber flying you anything?
Why wouldn't you? You wouldn't want to fly?
But why?
Think about how much time it would shave when you don't have to sit in traffic. There's no stop signs. There's no red lights. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to regulate all that up in the air by that time.
Look, I don't want just any old Uber nigga flying me around.
Hello, my name is Josh. I'm gonna be flying. Please make sure to give me
No,
5 stars
get the
when
hell
we're done.
out of here. That wouldn't work. You'd need millions of licensed pilots.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have licensed pilots who would be able to do this, just like they have people who are just sitting around with no with car licenses who decided to do Uber. Who did it? But how much Uber X is it? Uber X? That's a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much is that more than regular Uber?
Mm,
I'm asking you because
yeah, I'm trying to think.
I figured you've
Yeah,
taken
it
an
would be
Uber
another
X
one.
before.
You know what? No, Uber X is what we take by default.
So wait, it's not just regular Uber and then Uber X?
Uber X, I think, is like. Hold on, let me pull up Uber. I wonder how many Uber drivers are just out and about right now in this county.
Down here, probably not many. Wait a minute. If you go out, if this is the wait, yeah, this way, right over there. there's a guy with an Uber sticker on his car. So let's say we need
Get
to
your ass up. I want you to drive me somewhere.
like, hey man, I'm trying to get to DC real quick. You trying to drive? And plus, it's a pretty big car too. It's like an SUV.
Somebody in this neighborhood?
Right over there. They got the Uber sticker right on the car.
Do you mean somebody who, like, do you mean who's parking in the back or someone who...
No, they parked right underneath the what's it called? The garage. So they might just do Uber in their spare time. Which would be...
Yeah, okay. Ooh, shit.
So Uber X is pretty expensive, I'm guessing.
No, Uber X is the regular thing we take.
So what's it called?
Uber XL.
Uber Excel?
Oh, well, I think that's just the option that I have for here. Now, let's say that we were doing from... Ow, my stomach. Sorry. Let's say I wanted to go from Lafont Plaza to 1725 I Street. I could do Express Pool. I could do Pool, or I could do an Uber X. And then if you want premium, then you have Black or Black SUV.
I think that's what I'm thinking of. It was Uber Black or something. That's the expensive one. That's the one where they pick you up in the fancy cars. So I'm guessing Uber Air would have to cost a little bit more than that, but I'd still pay it. Or I'd want to get my own, like this Gravity Industries flying exosuit, which is just pretty much what you think it is. It's an exosuit.
What you think it is?
It's got like the air. It looks like it's got air rockets on the side that are shooting down into the ground and shooting you up. And yes, I'd absolutely get one because I want to fly. It's the future. Why are we not flying yet? Why are we not teleporting and phasing in and out of places? Phasing. But you know, now Jerry, if there was such a thing as a laser gun, would you want a laser gun?
Yeah, because I'm gonna blast the shit out of somebody. I'm gonna have to bow out of this conversation.
Let me just finish this up before you do this so the mic doesn't pick it up. Let me just get this one last thing in. Let me get this one last thing in. Come sit down. Come sit down. Give me 10 minutes to get this last thing. Okay, I'm gonna talk fast. Okay, guys, we're gonna wrap this one up because we're having an emergency over here. So the last thing for Big is it's laser guns. I figured we'd be firing photon lasers at people, shooting people's feet off, and all sorts of things. So it won't be quiet. Yeah, you know it won't.
Please, Dante.
I'm gonna wrap it up. So the laser blasters in Star Wars, you know, they're no longer works as fixed because people in China, of course, they've developed an actual laser gun that can ignite a target from half a mile, 800 meters away. It's called the ZM500 and has a few differences from the Star Wars version, but it's based on the Star Wars blaster. You know, it's 15 millimeter caliber weapon. It's 6.6 pounds and can fire more than 1,000 laser shots, each one lasting up to 2 seconds. That doesn't seem very long, but I don't think a laser needs very long to blow a hole in your head. I think.
I'd imagine that's pretty quick.
I feel. Yeah, if it only needs
pretty
2.
Sure that's
I'm pretty sure if it only needs 2 seconds, it's burned through your face in no time flat. That was me. That wasn't her. If anybody heard this, I just got the go home thing. I just got to go home. So, you know, that was this episode that I thought about the future. We have to cut this one a little short. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, podcast about everything, IG, Facebook, PAE podcast at gmail.com if you guys got any comments or anything you want me to talk about. Anything you want me to plug on the podcast, I'll plug fucking anything because, you know, I really don't care. I'll plug toilet paper if it's good.
Oh my god. Come on.
So this is Dante signing off. Jerry, anything you want to say before we go?
Bye.
All right, guys. This was the podcast about everything. Be nice to yourselves and each other. So Bye. Later.